Jai Sri Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Prayers by Queen Kuntī and Parīkṣit received. Here in the verse 24, Queen Kuntī addressing Lord Sri Krishna that, My dear Krishna, your lordship has protected us from a poisoned cake, from a great fire, from cannibals, from the various assembly, from suffering during our exile in the forest, and from the battle where great generals fought, and now you have saved us from the weapons of Ashwatthama. So here it is mentioned that Queen Kunti was Vaisana Mahagena Purusada Sadarshnath Asat Savhaya Krishchatah मर्दे नेके महारथ त्रतो त्रयोन्य अस्त्रस्तस चस्मास हरे भीरक्षितः. So here the purport is the list of dangerous encounter is submitted herein. Devaki was once put into difficulty by her envious brother. Otherwise she was well, but Kunti Devi and her sons were put into a difficulty, one difficulty after another, for years and years together. They were put into troubles by Duryodhana and his party due to the kingdom. And each and every time the son of Kunti were saved by Lord Sri Krishna. Once Bhima was administered poison in a cake. Once they were put into the house made of shellac and set afire. And once Draupadi was dragged out and attempt were made to insult her by stripping her naked in the vicious assembly of Kurus. The Lord saved Draupadi by supplying an immeasurable length of a cloth, and Duryodhana's party failed to see her naked. Similarly, when they were exiled in the forest, Bhima had to fight with the man-eater demon Hindimba Rakshasa. But the Lord saved him. So it was not finished there. After all these tribulations, there was a great battle of Kurukshetra, and Arjuna had to meet such great generals as Drona, Bhishma, and Karna, all powerful fighters. And at last, even when everything was done, always with there was the Brahmastra released by the son of Dronacharya to kill the child within the womb of Uttara. And so the Lord saved the only surviving descendant of the Kurus, Maharaja Parīkṣit. So here in the next verse, Queen Kunti said, I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeatedly birth and deaths. So here it is mentioned विपदः सन्तु सस्वत तत्र तत्र जगत् गुरो भवतो दर्शनं यदा सत् अपूर्णर्भव darshanam. So here the purport is generally the distress, the needy, the intelligent, and the inquisitive who have performed some pious activities worship and begin to worship the Lord. Others who are thieving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme due to being misled by the illusionary energy. Therefore, for a pious person, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna means preparing for liberation from the birth and death. Therefore, even though there are so called calamities, and they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. One one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, who are accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience, can achieve liberation easy, as easily as one leaps over the hole made by the hoop of a calf. Such persons are meant to reside in the abroad abode of the Lord, and they have nothing to do with a place where there is danger in every steps. The material world is certified by the Lord Sri Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita as a dangerous place full of calamities. Less intelligent person prepare plan to adjust to those calamities without knowing that the nature of each of this place is itself full of calamities. They have no information of the abode of the Lord, which is full of bliss and without trace of calamity. The duty of the sane person, therefore, is to undisturbed by worldly calamities which are sure to happen in all circumstances. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in spiritual realization because that is the mission of a human life. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, the so called calamities are called false. A man may see a tiger swallowing him in a dream, and he may cry for this calamity. Actually, there is no tiger and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of a dream. In the same way, all the calamities of life are said to be the dreams. If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the nine devotional service is always forward step on the path going back to the Godhead. So here in the next verse it is mentioned by Queen Kunti that my Lord, your lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of progress, material progress, trying to improve himself with a respectable percentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. So here it is mentioned that Janmasaya Sruta Srivir Idhamanam Madaha Puman निर्वर्त्ये अभिधर्म तुम्भै त्वभम अखिश्चन gochoram. So here the purport is being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and progressing great wealth and education and attractive personal beauty. All the materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulence, and this is known as the advancement of a material civilization. But the result is that by progressing all these material assets, one become artificially puffed up, puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up person are incapable uh, capable of uttering the holy name of Lord Sri Krishna by addressing him feelingly, O Govinda, O Krishna. It is said in the Shastras that by one by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of a quantity of sins that he is unable to commit. Such is the power of uttering the holy name of the Lord Sri Krishna. There is, there is not the least ex- exaggerations in this statement. Actually, the Lord holy name has such powerful potency, but there is a quality to such utterness also. It depends on the quality of a feeling. A helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name in great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. A material prophet of a person may utter the holy name of a Lord occasionally, but he is incapable of uttering the name of a name in quality. Therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely high percentage, good wealth, high education, and attractive beauty, are so to speak disqualification of progress, the path of spiritual advancement. The material covering of the pure spirit soul is an external feature, as such as favor is an external features of the unhealthy body. The general process is to decrease the degree of a favor and not to aggravate it by maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that spiritually advanced persons becomes materially im- improvised. This is no discouragement. On the other hand, such improvisement is a good sign as much as the falling of temperature is a good sign. The principle the principle of life should be decrease the degree of a material intoxication which leads one to be more and more illusioned, illusioned about the aim of life. Grossly illusioned persons are quite unfit for entrance into the kingdom of lords. So here it is clearly mentioned that those those who are in the path of material progress try to improve himself with respect to percentage, great affluence, high education, bodily beauty. They cannot approach the Lord with a sincere feeling. The only the only person who are a material exhausted, he can approach the lordship of Lord easily. Jai Jagannath, Jai Sri Krishna.